how are you feeling this week for you, especially week off to recharge the batteries? How is your body at the end of the home and away season? How do you feel now?
Yeah, I feel pretty good. I think the majority of the boys are going to benefit from having the week off. A few of us older guys got a week off or a couple of days off up in Queensland during the Bulldogs game, and to get another week this week is it's going to be only better for us. So to be at home in your own comforts of your own bed and training here at Lathlane as well has been pretty good. So feeling pretty good from the rest.
Do you feel like, given the season you've had and the extra minutes that you've been playing in recent weeks, that the build-up will allow you to now play more minutes in this game?
Yeah, I think my minutes haven't changed too much from year to year. I guess it's a bigger percentage of game time now. The games are shorter, but yeah, for me, I think we put in enough minutes throughout the year to get my body in a state where I can run out a full game if I have to. So. Yeah, with finals, the intensity lifts a bit more, so I wouldn't imagine I'd play too much more game time. It'd probably be only when it's called upon if the game's real close. So, each game, we don't have that double chance this year, and, every game's a knockout if we lose. So I think all the minutes and all the management stuff goes out the window when it's time to win the game.
So there is a chance that you could have a greater involvement than, it was 58% last time against Collingwood. It's been up to 80% in recent weeks. What do you think is going to be your sort of game time for an elimination final against Brodie Grundy, given the talent that he has as well?
Yeah, I don't think it'll change too much. I think I'll play similar minutes. We've got a pretty good rotation with myself and whoever the second ruckman is. So, it's not going to change too much. That game, was a while ago against Collingwood, and my minutes were managed. It was also leading into a period where we knew we were going to have a lot of, 4 or 5 day turnaround. So I think our medical staff and our sports science guys really mapped that out really well to give me the best look for that second hub over in Queensland. So, I don't think any of that will have any impact for this weekend's game.
Nick, Beck from 10. How you going? I just wanted to ask you about Brodie Grundy, what you've made of him lately through the year and what you're expecting from him.
Yeah, Brodie's a great ruckman. Probably someone I respect pretty highly. Amongst I respect all my opponents, but him and Gawn have probably led the way for the last few years, and they're both respectively All-Australian ruckmen as well. So, Collingwood's form has been up and down throughout the year, but everyone's form has been a bit like that at times as well. So, I think for him, I'm going to respect him as much as I do any other player. But these guys know how to play finals. They've been there before, and we've had some pretty good matchups over the years as well. So, I'm really looking forward to that, that challenge.
Nick, how much... No, you go. All good. No, Nick, you mentioned you've had some good matchups with them over the years. Earlier this year, you guys accounted for them pretty comfortably. How much can you actually take out of that game compared to a finals performance?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good confidence booster, I guess, during the circumstances, and to get a win like that against Collingwood here at home was big. And, we'll take that momentum leading into this weekend's game in the final, but they get some pretty big ins this week. They get Pendlebury back, they get DeGoey back. Guys like Mason Cox who can have an impact up forward as well, and in the ruck, will likely play as well. So, we'll take bits and pieces from that game and some of the learnings we got from that game. But we won't be going out and thinking it's going to be that easy. Like I said as well, it's a final. They know how to play big game footy, and they're going to be coming out wanting to win as well. Because for them, their season's done if they lose. For us, we're in the same boat. So it's going to be a pretty tough contest.
Nick, can you talk us through the change in midfield over recent weeks because of the injuries? You've been dealing with Gaff and Duggan really in your midfield for a fair amount of time. Now you'll get Shuey and Redden back. The chemistry and the ability to train together when they've been injured and to prepare for this game, what's that been like?
Yeah, it's been pretty tough. Those guys, we've had a fair few boys in the rehab group. So, midfield's looked a bit different the last month, especially our last hub over in Queensland. Like you said, Duggan, guys like Archie and Cole and Nelson have joined our group for periods as well. So, to get those boys back this week it'll just be a bonus. We know how each other works. We work with each other every single day of the week. If we're not on the field, we're in our shed here or we're in the gym. So, I don't think that chemistry goes out the window after a couple of weeks. I've been working with Shuey for the last 12, 13 years. So, we'll just pick that up. We did a bit of training today, and we've got a main session later in the week where we'll work on some stuff. But, I think as a midfield unit, we'll be good to go.
How exciting is it to know that you're going to have that midfield group back together when you've been mixing and matching for so long? You know what you can do. You must be excited to have that mix again.
Yeah, it's good just to have some of those guys back in. It gives you a bit of confidence when you're in there. Not to say the boys that were in there the last few weeks weren't getting the job done. I think it's just having that experience and some of that leadership that some of those guys bring. And I think they complement myself really well, and they have done for a number of years. So excited to have Shuey, Redden. Yowi's not going to be out there, but he'll have a coaching role with whoever else is in there as well, with Dom and the rest.
When you look back on your All-Australian selection, it's been a long time between drinks for you. You've had a lot of injuries along the way. Did you ever imagine going into this season that you'd reach the heights that you have?
No, I didn't. I put a lot of work in, and I thought, I wanted to have a really good year. And, my pre-season minutes were a lot higher, as you all know, this year than they have been for a while. So playing that first game was awesome against Melbourne. But then to have footy, I guess, postponed or taken away was concerning on my end, because I put such a big effort in leading in from the back end of my injuries and my knees, and then getting a full preseason under my belt. So it's it's an honour to be back in there, but there's something else that I want a little bit more than that, and I think there's a couple of other guys who are in the same boat.
The premiership's obviously something that's driving you, given you missed out previously.
Yeah, definitely, and like I said it the other night, I think some of our better performers and some of the guys who are real hungry are those guys that have missed out. And Brad Shepherd's had a good year, Andrew Gaff's had a solid year, and the three of us sat down and watched on in 2018. So I think we want to get back there, but there's a big hurdle in the way first, and that's Collingwood this weekend.
Can you tell us about Josh Kennedy? We saw him sort of running a few laps in a little bit this morning. Do you think the old bloke will get out there this weekend?
JK is just old. I think he spent the whole week gardening in his backyard, growing his garlic, I think, at the moment, that he's got in his crops. But I think he'll be fine. I think he'll test with a couple of other boys later in the week during main training. But he's an ultimate professional, so he's been doing everything he can to get back, and I don't think it's something that he wants to miss. So I think he'll be right, but he'll give himself every opportunity later in the week.
And it'd be good to have Gov back too. He comes back in.
Yeah, Gov's another one. Gov probably carries on like he's an old boy, but he's younger than the majority of us. So he'll be right. I think he's in a similar boat to JK. They'll both test themselves during main training, and those guys don't like missing too much footy. So I think they'll be knocking on Simo's door pretty hard to try and put their hand up for selection.